The day is finally here. After months of rumors and speculations, we got leaked images of Xbox's next controversial piece of hardware. And you know we gotta talk all about it. What's up guys, and welcome to Xbox Ready, my YouTube channel that's all about Xbox. I talk the latest Xbox news, rumors, games, accessories, pretty much whatever I want to talk about as long as it's related to Xbox in some way. I'm working really hard to get to 160,000 subscribers. There's no significance to that number, I just think it's nice, even, cool number. So if you like Xbox, you like my channel, you like this video, whatever, I would really appreciate it if you help me out with that goal. Let's discuss. So at the end of 2023, the big story in the Xbox community was this leaked Xbox roadmap that detailed all sorts of stuff that seemingly came out of nowhere. They had plans to buy Nintendo, they had unannounced hardware plans, a new controller, and a digital Series X codenamed Brooklyn. Functionally, this thing was going to be the same as a regular Series X, just no disk drive. It wasn't going to be a box anymore. It was going to be more cylindrical in shape. According to the slide, a beautiful and innovative new design. It was going to have a USB-C port in the front and also have 2 terabytes of storage. And oh yeah, there was going to be like some new power-friendly saving stuff. There was going to be updated Wi-Fi connectivity. But more or less, it was going to be pretty much a Series X, and a lot of people were not so happy about that because it followed certain rumors that Xbox was going to ditch physical games entirely. So people were looking at this digital Series X like, I do not want this if it means that they're just going to be all digital. In this leaked document, they even had a timeline for this thing's release. So everyone was talking, oh, they're going to release this digital Series X, oh, they're gonna do this, and that. And then Phil Spencer came out and was like, it's really hard when your work gets leaked this way, especially when plans have changed so significantly. He ended that statement by saying, oh, we'll share the real plans when we're ready, implying everything that we saw was fake news. And to this day, he won't even acknowledge anything that was in those leaks. And then we got another fake out when Xputer published a report a couple of weeks ago saying that the digital Series X was real, except it wasn't gonna look anything like Brooklyn, this weird like Alexa tower. It was going to look like a regular Series X, but white without the disk drive. And that they were targeting a summer release date for this thing. And what do you know? Xputer strikes again with reportedly leaked images of the Series X that I was just describing. And oh man, I've been talking about this for months. I've been hyping this up. I was actually pretty interested in the idea of Brooklyn as it was in those slide decks. So let's go ahead and take a look at these leaked images that we've been waiting on for months. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right. You know, if you've been watching the channel for a while, y'all know how I like to do things. I typically like to focus on subjects and topics that excite me, things that I'm looking forward to. I just don't like to go through life spending all my time complaining about this, or that. And there's already a lot of that on the internet right now, especially when it comes to video game discourse. So my thing has always been trying to stick to things that excite me, keep things positive. At least that's how it started out as. Maybe I've been leaning more like negative in these past couple of videos, but okay. I don't know what I was expecting, especially when Xputer, in that initial report that I was talking about, said that it was going to be a white digital Series X without the disk drive. Maybe I've been looking at my own thumbnails for too long, or like mock-ups on the internet with the Series X cut in half. But I mean, I guess that's exactly what I'm seeing in these pictures, right? Is just a regular Series X that is white, and on the front it looks identical too, except it doesn't have a disk drive. I don't know, there's just something like kind of off about this, right? It looks like a block of tofu. It looks like that block from that one SpongeBob episode where he takes Squidward's art class. I don't know why that I would buy this thing. There's a freaking fly in my face. What is going on? I don't know. I don't know why I would get this if I already have a Series X. I don't know, I guess, who the target audience for this is for. Because then if you scroll down beyond the images in this Xputer article, it says that, okay, well, it's going to have upgraded components like a better heatsink, but elsewhere there are no major enhancements to talk about. and its price, as per the author's knowledge, ecstasis, it's going to be the same as a regular Series X, so 500, which, if that's the case, I have a lot of questions about. I mean, I had a lot of questions leading up to this because if they were going to discount it to $400, which everyone was talking about, where would that leave the Black Series S, which is $350? Why would people buy a Black Series S when they can spend $50 more and get a digital Series X? Now, of course, this is all rumors. This is not something that Microsoft or Xbox has come out and officially acknowledged yet, but if it is truly just a Series X without the disk drive and it's the same price, why? Like, if you're buying this thing, if these images and the price point are true, I mean, why not just buy a regular Series X? You can play games digitally on that, and you would have the option to buy any physical games, whether they're used or your friends' copies. I mean, you're literally just losing just some functionality and gaining, I guess, like style points. I don't know. Maybe this would match your apartment or entertainment center, but I don't really know if this makes a lot of sense to actually release. I guess it is true, like, the plans did change according to Phil Spencer if this is actually the digital Series X and it's actually going to be released. But what makes me worried is that if this thing comes out and it is the same price, are they going to do it like PlayStation with their new Slim models and have this white Series X that's all digital be the de facto console going forward and discontinue the previous models of the Series X? Okay, so maybe I'm not personally going to be buying this. I just don't know who would buy this because it's functionally identical to the Series X, just without the disk drive. Why not just buy the Series X, which we've seen it be discounted all the way to $400 in the past. So, okay, but enough about that. So maybe I won't personally be buying a white digital Series X. Here's what I'm hoping actually happens, though. In those leaked documents that I was referring to earlier, when they were saying that they were going to release Brooklyn, they said that it was going to come with an updated controller, one that was codenamed Sibyl. It was the only thing in that document. I was like, out of everything I've seen in this, if there's only one thing that's real, I hope that it's the controller. And I am here once again asking Xbox for that controller. It was rumored to have haptics that double as speakers, modular thumbsticks, a wake-up function when you pick it up, a rechargeable, removable battery, gyroscopic controls. So if that thing is real and the price that we have to pay is the release of this digital white Series X, I'm all here for it because I just want the controller, if I'm being completely honest. Part of me wishes that they just stayed with the original design from Brooklyn. Yes, that thing was priced at $500 in that document, but it was a different shape. It had more storage. I don't know. I guess I'm just kind of, I don't know. I don't know. Again, I don't know what I was expecting, especially when Xputer was literally like, it's going to be a white Series X. They set up my expectations and I just ran wild with them. But even though I'm kind of like, kind of tepid on at least the digital Series X, we know that later this year, they're going to tease other Xbox consoles, the next gen Xboxes. Maybe one of them is a handheld. That's what a lot of people have been talking about. I just did a whole video about it. So while this particular digital Series X, I'm a little like, whatever about, I'm really looking forward to seeing what they have cooked up for us for the next generation and beyond. Outside of that, we got another exciting feature being tested out in the Xbox Insider Hub. Starting today, Alpha Skip Ahead users will be able to use a mouse and keyboard for an expanded list of Xbox cloud gaming titles. According to the Xbox Wire, they remind us that this is just a preview right now, so there might be issues. They say that some games will display a controller UI by default, but the mouse and keyboard UI will be activated once a player starts using the peripherals, like typing on your keyboard or moving your mouse. There's also one more caveat. If you are playing on your browser, you got to be playing the game in full screen. Now, I'm actually really interested to see how this plays out because one of my biggest issues and a lot of issues I see people having with cloud gaming is controller input latency. And dealing with that with mouse and keyboard sounds frustrating, to say the least. Here's the list of games that currently support mouse and keyboard with this new update. So Fortnite on browser only, Ark Survival Evolved, Sea of Thieves, Grounded, Halo Infinite, Atomic Heart, Sniper Elite 5, Deep Rock Galactic, High on Life, Zombie 4, Dead War, Gears Tactics, Pentiment, Doom 64, and Age of Empires 2. There's one more game that they should add full mouse and keyboard support for. And y'all probably already know what I'm gonna say, but Chivalry 2, baby. They need to add mouse and keyboard support for that game on your Xbox console. Right now it's limited, and they need to add support for that on cloud as well. Because there are literally things that you cannot do on controller in that game, like feint with the same cut, that you can do on mouse and keyboard. Now, on one end, it is nice to see that Microsoft is continuing to add features to Xbox Cloud Gaming or test them out. But on the other end, they're doing so at a very, very slow pace. Like, cloud gaming is still technically in beta, even though it's been around for what, 5 years? And outside of expanded mouse and keyboard support, there is a laundry list of things that fans have been waiting for, including the ability to play games that you own. Cloud gaming, I hate to say it could be super, super frustrating. And it's frustrating mostly because I believe that cloud gaming could really be a good thing. Having been a gamer on a budget in the past, having not a lot of money to spend on consoles or games, the idea that I could pull up my phone or my crappy laptop and play an Xbox game through that without having to worry about my hardware, that's really awesome, but that's not necessarily how it's played out in practice. Regardless of how I feel about this update specifically, I hope that Xbox continues to put the work into cloud gaming, especially if they're going to keep pushing ahead with this idea that they're not all about consoles, they're an ecosystem. They're trying to get more people to play their games all over the world, no matter the device. I personally believe cloud gaming is going to be a big part of that. Some people disagree. They're like, Ray, you're crazy. Cloud gaming is always going to be trash. Again, I'm an eternal optimist. Cloud gaming could be really cool. It could be cool to a lot of lower income gamers. I'm speaking from experience, okay? Speaking about Xbox services that I hope continue to get some love, let's talk about Game Pass. Like I always say, it is not an Xbox ready video unless I talk about Game Pass in some way. If you need a reminder, Diablo 4 is now available on Game Pass. Game Pass Regular, Game Pass Ultimate, not Game Pass Core, but the other two. Regardless of how you feel about this game, this is a massive deal because it is the first Activision Blizzard title to make its way over to the service. It was the one thing that I was the most excited for when Xbox announced that they were acquiring Activision Blizzard, or Microsoft did. A lot of people were like, oh yeah, Call of Duty is going to be an Xbox exclusive, and I was like, oh shoot, Diablo 4 is going to be on Game Pass. That's awesome. This was before the game was out. I kind of fell off on Diablo 4, but I'm jumping back in today. Say what you want about the game, the story was still really satisfying and good and entertaining, and that gameplay loop is just addictive, man. Killing things, looting things, getting that dopamine hit from looting stuff, and getting that really awesome item that maybe you didn't even know you were looking for. And again, even if you don't like Diablo 4, chances are you're gonna like something from the Activision Blizzard catalog. My friends over at Xbox emailed me, and as part of saying, hey, here's some cool stuff about Diablo 4 coming to Game Pass, they said there will be even more to play as we begin to fulfill our commitment to offer Activision Blizzard games with Game Pass, both new releases and classic games from its legendary catalog. A lot of people are thinking like, oh, this will be a great way to play the newest Call of Duty, but we're discounting all of the titles, all of the back catalog that they got as well. I'm personally of the belief that the more Activision Blizzard titles they get onto Game Pass, the more people will be inclined to subscribe to the service. And hopefully, as Game Pass continues to grow, we'll start seeing some more awesome deals. We'll start seeing more day one editions from third-party publishers as well. But also something that we got to look out for is that Xbox agreed that they weren't going to keep Activision Blizzard titles exclusively to their subscription services. They do sort of have an obligation to at least offer these games to come to PlayStation Plus and, NVIDIA GeForce Now, all of those guys. It ended up being a good month for Game Pass, and we got some more coming. We got Ark Survival Ascended. Man, I have a soft spot for Ark, man. I don't know what to tell you. I will probably try out Ark Survival Ascended. It's definitely the preferable way to try it out through Game Pass rather than buying it because people have not been loving it. But while we're talking about Game Pass, I do gotta talk about The Quarry a little bit because I started playing it with some friends the other night. And I gotta say, I was like, what is going on with this game? I was really excited about it. I had a lot of fun playing As Dusk Falls with my friends, which is kind of a similar game, except it's 2D versus The Quarry, which is like actual character models. You get to control your characters and like look around the actual game space, but I just don't know. There's something kind of off about The Quarry, man. I like it's very uncanny valley. Like the character models and their animations, like they're almost right, but something about their eyes just like creep me out. And when they're talking to each other, it's like they're not really looking at each other or making eye contact. It's very awkward. It's very hard to explain. I like the story. I like the vibe. It's very like, like classic horror movie, right? Young teenagers, 20-something, go to a summer camp and some craziness ensues. But the performance and the graphics of this game, like, it makes me wish, like, they did it more like As Dusk Falls, which is, yes, I know it was more 2D and it's, like, not as advanced, but I found the character models in As Dusk Falls, especially for a game that's so similar in experience, to be much more expressive. I was able to connect to the characters and feel for them a lot more than I am with these teenagers in The Quarry. But anyways, guys, that's all the Xbox stuff I have to talk about today. Thanks so much for joining me for another edition of Xbox Ready, and we'll see you in the next video.